Hello and welcome! We're about to jump back in time to one of the most important years in all of English history, 1066. So picture this, the King of England has just died, but he hasn't named anyone to take his place, and this one moment kicks off a massive, three-way fight for the throne.
This is the story of two very different groups at the heart of that conflict, the Saxons and the Normans, two worlds about to collide over one throne.
So, let's start with the people who were already there, the Anglo-Saxons. By the time we get to 1066, they'd been living in England for over 600 years.
Their story starts way back in 410 AD. The Romans had just left, and these new groups arrived from places we now call Germany and Denmark. Over hundreds of years, they built farms, towns, and eventually they pieced together the Kingdom of England.
And this wasn't some backwater. It was a pretty sophisticated place. The country was divided into areas called shires, a word we actually still use today. You had your lords, called thigs, and your farmers, called ceorls. And right at the top, the king didn't just do whatever he wanted. He had to listen to a special council.
This council was called the Witan. It was a meeting of the wise men, basically all the most important nobles and bishops in the kingdom. You could call it the world's earliest awkward board meeting. But seriously, the idea that a ruler should listen to their advisors, that really started right here.
The Saxons had some legendary kings like Alfred the Great, the only English king ever called the Great, who famously fought off Viking invasions. But the king in 1066 was a very different man, Edward the Confessor. He was deeply religious and built the incredible Westminster Abbey. But he was great at building churches, less great at succession planning. He died without any children, and that created a massive problem.
So if the Saxons were already in England, who were the other contenders? Well, let's meet the Normans. And this is where the story takes a really surprising twist.
Get this, the Normans were originally Vikings. I'm not kidding. Their name literally comes from Norsemen. Way back in the year 911, a Viking named Rollo made a deal with the French king, a man named Charles the Simple. Yep, that was his real nickname. And he was given a big chunk of northern France to settle in. And that land became known as Normandy.
And what's amazing is that over just a few generations, they completely changed. They started speaking French, became Christians, and pretty much adopted all of French culture. You could say they were Vikings who forgot they were Vikings.
But they definitely kept their fighting spirit. The Normans were some of the toughest warriors in Europe. They were famous for fighting on horseback as knights, what we call cavalry. And while the Saxons used wooden forts, the Normans built these huge, imposing castles made of stone.
Their leader was Duke William. This guy had been ruling Normandy since he was just 8 years old, which tells you just how tough and resilient he was. And William was absolutely convinced that King Edward the Confessor had once promised him the throne of England.
So now we've got all our players on the board. On January 5th, 1066, King Edward dies. And with no kids and no clear heir, the crisis that he'd failed to plan for, well, it exploded.
All of a sudden, three different men stepped forward, each believing the throne was his. First, there was Harold Godwinson, the most powerful Saxon noble in England. He said Edward chose him on his deathbed. The Witan agreed, and they crowned him king immediately. Then there was Harold Hardrada, the terrifying king of Norway, with a claim based on an old Viking deal. And finally, of course, there was William, Duke of Normandy, who insisted the throne had been promised to him years ago.
So you have a three-way standoff for the most powerful throne in the land. This was never going to be solved with a friendly chat. Only one of these men would still be alive by Christmas.
What happened next was one of the most action-packed and important years in all of history.
The first move came from the north. In September, Harold Hardrada, the Viking king, invaded England. The brand new King Harold Godwinson had to act, and he had to act fast.
Harold marched his Saxon army north at an incredible speed and met the Vikings at a place called Stamford Bridge. It was this massive, brutal battle, and Harold won a stunning victory. To give you an idea, Hardrada had arrived with a huge invasion fleet of about 300 ships.
But his army was so totally crushed that only 25 ships were needed to take the few survivors home. It was an absolutely brilliant victory for the new English king. He'd saved his kingdom, but he had no time to celebrate.
Because just 3 days after that huge victory, news arrived. William of Normandy had landed on the south coast. Can you imagine? Harold had to turn his exhausted, battered army around and immediately march 300 miles south to face a brand new invasion.
The final showdown was coming.
So the stage is set for an epic final battle. But before we find out what happened, let's just pause for a moment and look at two surprising little facts from this story that you can still see in your life today.
Here's something amazing you might not know. The Saxon farmers who actually looked after the animals used the Old English words for them: cow, pig, sheep. But the Norman lords, who were sitting at the dinner table eating the meat, used their French words for it: beef, pork, mutton. So even today, the living animal often has a Saxon name, and the food on our plate has a Norman one. Oh, and by the way, the word school comes from Norman French, so the Normans are responsible essentially for homework. You're welcome.
And check out this bit of pure medieval trickery. So William claimed that years earlier, Harold Godwinson had sworn a holy oath to support his claim to the throne. But here's the twist. After Harold made the promise on what he thought was a normal chest, William pulled back a cloth to reveal that he'd secretly hidden extra super holy relics underneath, things like the bones of saints. Harold apparently went pale, realizing he'd been tricked into making an unbreakable sacred promise. Breaking it was a terrible sin, and William used this story as the main justification for his entire invasion.
Okay, that was a lot of information to take in. So, to finish up, let's do a quick quiz to see what you remember.
Question 1. Where did the Anglo-Saxons originally come from? Was it A, France and Spain, B, Germany and Denmark, C, Norway and Sweden, or D, Italy and Greece? The correct answer is B. The Anglo-Saxons came from what is now Germany and Denmark after the Romans left.
Question 2. Where did the Normans originally come from before they settled in France? A, they were always French. B, Spain. C, they were originally Vikings. Or D, they were Roman descendants. The correct answer is C. The Normans were originally Vikings, also called Norsemen, who settled in northern France. Question 3. How many men claimed the English throne in 1066? Was it A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5? The correct answer is B. There were 3 claimants: Harold Godwinson, Harold Hardrada, and William of Normandy.
Question 4. What happened at the Battle of Stamford Bridge? A. William defeated the Saxons. B. Harold Godwinson defeated the Norwegian invasion. C. The Normans landed on the south coast. Or D. Edward the Confessor died. The correct answer is B. Harold Godwinson won a huge victory against the Norwegian invasion led by Harold Hardrada. And our final question, number 5. Why was the year 1066 so exhausting for Harold Godwinson? Was it A, he fought 2 invasions in the north and south within 3 weeks, B, he was ill all year, C, he traveled to Rome, or D, he fought William in France first? The correct answer is A. He had to march north to beat the Vikings, then turn right around and march 300 miles south to face William. Great work! You now know all the key players and everything that led to that final epic showdown. Join us next time to find out what happened at the Battle of Hastings.